Look up from your telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
All right, y'all knew this was coming. Episode 11 gave us quite a bit of information with so many things happening, one of which was us getting to see a more human side of D'Angelo Carter and the full-on setup for Grace and Carter to totally become a thing. Let's talk about it. Okay, so people have been slowly shipping them, slide shipping them, just randomly mentioning them since the start of the season, and I didn't see it because y'all know I call D'Angelo Carter principal asshole because that's all he's been given. Ever since he appeared last season and wanted to shut down South Crenshaw High and gentrify the neighborhood, coming in like the great light-skinned hope or whatever he was trying to do, he was just given very much so, you are not to be liked, you are to be disrespected, and I matched his energy. So, that was that. But how is it possible that in one episode, these freaking writers, shout out to the All American writers, the All American Writers Room is lit. I am just kudos to y'all because y'all are over there doing y'all dang on thing. This season has been raising the bar. The show has already been a phenomenal show, but this season has definitely been raising the bar, and you guys continue to surprise me. You continue to outdo yourself. You continue to build upon the story, go deeper, go wider, and just really expand the world in our minds. So shout out to the All American Writers Room. I love you guys, even when you stress me the hell out. But in one episode, y'all, they have been able to pull me from the dark side of drag Carter every chance I get to like, okay, maybe he's not so bad. Like for context, I literally looked at Carter like I look at Asher and like I look at Vanessa, and y'all know I don't like Vasher. You know I don't like nothing about Vasher. You know that there's not one good thing that I have to say about Vasher. So for me to go from Vasher level disdain to now being like, okay, well, you better do right by Grace, and me imagining their first date, it's like a whole 180, and I'm like low-key not here for it, but then kinda. So that is where this video came from. The idea for this video definitely popped up when I was just like going through my episode 11 breakdown. If you haven't seen it already, be sure to check that out after this video. I'll link it in the cards above in the description box down below, but I did a full-on breakdown for the entire episode 11, and in that video, because there were so many things that were touched upon or mentioned in the episode, I wind up doing a very general breakdown, but I'm using separate videos to really dial in and go deeper. So if you haven't already, you can also check out Is Billy Suffering from CTE, because I also mentioned D'Angelo Carter in that video as well, and I created a bunch of other videos that just could really have us have a really in-depth conversation around a lot of the things that happened in episode 11. All the videos I mentioned will always be linked in the description box down below, so get into it. And before I jump into my full breakdown of Grace and Carter and what's to come from these lovely soon-to-be lovebirds, I want to bring up a comment that I just absolutely love. So shout out to Mackenzie Benson, who said, I would love for you to make a video about Carter and Billy's fight situation. I also like Carter in this episode, and it made me see him differently. Carter has had a very traumatic life, and that's probably why he acts the way he acts. I know it isn't an excuse, for I actually feel bad for him. Yeah, so again, I talk about Carter and Billy, a little bit about the fight situation in my Is Billy Suffering from CTE video. Let me know if you want me to do a potential, it's not a prediction because it already happened, but I was thinking about doing a prediction video on the actual circumstances behind their fight and what I think transpired on the night that Billy beat the hell out of Carter. So let me know in the comment section if that's something that you actually would want to see. But I agree, Mackenzie, like I actually feel bad for Carter. In episode 11, we get to see his relationship with his daughter. He is a single father. His wife passed away a year prior to, so you're right, he has definitely had a traumatic life. He is a widower. He is a single dad. He was bullied as a kid, sent away from his family. So I can definitely imagine what's going on in his mind. Carter seems like a survivor. He's had to survive some really tough things. Just being from Crenshaw is already another thing, a layer that you have to kind of contend with. And in the circumstances that we know about him, he has definitely had to be able to operate very strongly alone. He's had to be able to hold his own, and he's learned some lessons the hard way. Like being bullied in high school definitely probably instilled upon him some trust issues, some antisocial tendencies, and things like that, which is why we get to see him the way we do, of how awkward he is. Honestly, like his mission and like what his goal was is not a bad thing. It's like how he went about it is the bad thing for me, and the thing that made me not like him. Like, I'm not a big fan of gentrification, but the fact that he is a black person coming into a neighborhood that he actually grew up in and loved, and he was the person who's trying to spearhead the change, to me wasn't a bad thing. It was just that he came in kind of like shooting down everything that was there as if it was all bad, as if it didn't have anything to do with making him who he is. And again, he just came across very disrespectful and dismissive of his culture, and that was my biggest issue. I personally don't even have a problem with them converting South Crenshaw into a charter school, as long as they were able to maintain the essence of the school and they didn't displace all of the students that were currently there as if they were unwanted at that point. And I think that that was also, Grace's issue with it. She made a comment at the end of last season of like, you can't keep taking resources out the hood and then expect the hood to still stand. I don't think that she ever had a problem with them converting the school to be more academically inclined or getting the neighborhood to change for the better. But when it comes to basically ignoring or disrespecting all the people who are currently in that community as if they don't matter or they're not there, and then creating something within their community for other people to come in and benefit from, that is a huge problem. And I think that that's what we're going to see play out as these two develop a closer relationship. In episode 11, we get to see Grace show up for Carter in a way that helps him better understand his daughter and drop in a little bit more. And then she's able to gain insight from him fumbling with his daughter and seeing his deep love and passion for her and how much he wants to be a good dad, how much he's actually trying. She definitely gets to see, we all get to see just a completely different side. And honestly, like I said in a few videos, it really humanized him. Carter has been fine. Like, he was never ugly. He was never like, a problem to look at. His ways and how he carried himself to me made him seem ugly and arrogant, but physically he has the goods. But it was just that personality piece, and now we're getting a peek into that personality piece to realize that he's not so bad. And I actually think that him developing feelings for Grace, because I do believe that he has already started to develop feelings for Grace since she pushed back about Jabari way back when and checked him on how he was handling that and how biased he was being. I felt like Carter started to develop feelings for her then. But him developing feelings for Grace could be the thing that helps really shift his mindset around how he's going about improving the neighborhood and what he's going to do with South Crenshaw. Right now, he's the interim principal, but I could definitely see it being he becomes the actual principal, and maybe he decides not to continue on with the conversion of South Crenshaw, but he stays on to lead it. And then maybe, because Grace and Carter are going to get into a relationship, she can help inform better initiatives for how they can improve the community without him just completely wanting to wipe the slate clean and gentrify it. Low key, y'all, they backdoor set us up for like a match made in heaven, because y'all know that Grace is in school and she's, doing a lot of urban planning, and she's really about revitalizing communities and saving communities and for the forward movement of our people and our culture. So low key, she is literally the perfect partner for Carter. Like, I can't. And I'm low key irritated because I never thought about it like this, but I probably never thought about it like this just because I hated Carter so much. Like, my stance was always that Carter was not good enough for Grace. So I already knew what Grace came to the table with, but because he just was such a little antisocial turd, like a little arrogant turd, I was just like, no, you couldn't even, lay down and let Grace walk across your back to get over a puddle. Like, you weren't even good enough for that. So I really couldn't put two to two together. But looking at their skill set, looking at their education, looking at their background, they're actually an ideal couple. I can't believe I'm saying this. Damn these writers. Yes, so as the title says, Carter and Grace are totally about to be a thing. I'm living for y'all comments. Some of y'all are posting, yeah, Spencer and Dillon about to get a little stepdaddy. I definitely think it's still gonna be an issue because Spencer does not like Carter and is not gonna like Carter anytime soon. So once they start dating, there will be a little bit of smoke attention there. But I'm here for that. Like I live for jealous Spencer. I live for Spencer who's acting a little bit too emotionally, but for all the right reasons. I wouldn't be mad about seeing that and him kicking a little bit of tension and dust Carter's way because I think that it shouldn't be easy for Carter to get with Grace. He should definitely have to work for it, and he's going to have to work definitely to get Spencer to not hate him. But then ultimately, this could be part of the solve for, one of the reasons why Spencer returned to Crenshaw was because he was trying to save the school. And up until now, he feels like he's failing. The team has been struggling. He's not necessarily getting as many of the offers or the looks from colleges that he's been wanting to get or deserving to get. And then also, he feels like he's failing the school because they haven't done anything to make it stand out to the point where they don't want to shut it down. So, Grace and Carter getting together could stop the school from getting shut down, which takes one thing off of Spencer's back. So I'm here for that in that regard too. Come on, 2 for 1s. But now it's your turn. Let me know what you think about Carter and Grace getting together in the comment section down below. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you like Carter now? Are you still like, nah, he ain't it? Tell me all that and more in the comment section down below. If you're new here, I'm Erica Van and I post new All American videos every day, sometimes twice a day, and you should really join the tribe by hitting subscribe. I promise you are going to love it here. And if you miss any of my All American videos, because child, I have over 100 and we are still going, we are keeping the conversation flowing, go ahead and click into my All About All American playlist right here. And if you're looking for something new to watch, I have 2 amazing suggestions for you right here. I'm gonna see you in my next amazing All American video. Bye.
How come the stars don't shine when it's day? How come the sky at night makes me this way?